You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Welcome back to Icons of Influence, the podcast where we explore the lives, legacies, and lasting impact of those shaping our world in powerful, purposeful ways. Today's episode is going to take us far, far away from the boardroom, the stage, or even the usual halls of power, because today we're heading into space. Our guest of focus, not in person, of course, but in spirit and story. We're talking about Thomas Pesquet, astronaut, pilot, engineer, and one of the most compelling international figures of modern space exploration. He's become a voice for global cooperation, climate awareness, STEM advocacy, and pushing the human spirit to its very edge. So let's take off. Thomas Pesquet was born in Rouen, France in 1978, long before SpaceX or reusable rockets were a thing, and just as humanity was still grappling with the idea of what comes next after the moon landings. From an early age, he was obsessed with flight, with exploration, with the vastness of the unknown. That sense of wonder led him into an academic path grounded in science and engineering, eventually earning degrees in aerospace engineering and graduating from the elite French Air and Space School. But Thomas wasn't just book smart. He had the physical discipline and mental clarity required to become a commercial airline pilot, flying Airbus aircraft across the globe, long before he set foot in a rocket. And then came the break. In 2009, he was selected as an astronaut by the European Space Agency, ESA, beating out over 8,000 candidates. Becoming an astronaut is, in itself, a lifetime achievement. But for Pesquet, it was just the beginning of what would become a journey of global impact. In 2016, Thomas Pesquet launched aboard the Soyuz MS-03 to the International Space Station for a 6-month mission, becoming the youngest ESA astronaut to fly into space. What set him apart, even then, wasn't just his technical excellence. It was the way he brought people along for the ride. Thomas became known for his incredible photography from space, sharing vivid, emotional, and often sobering images of Earth from orbit. His Instagram account wasn't just popular, it became a global phenomenon. Through these images, through his tweets, interviews, and live Q&As, he became a communicator for science, a translator of the cosmic into the human. He spoke about climate change, showing deforestation, pollution, and wildfires from space. He highlighted how fragile Earth looked, emphasizing that borders vanish from orbit, and what remains is one interconnected world. His message was clear. Space isn't just about exploring the stars, it's about understanding our home. One of the most powerful aspects of Thomas Pesquet's influence is his role in promoting international cooperation. The ISS is one of humanity's greatest diplomatic achievements, housing astronauts from all over the world, working in harmony in one of the most hostile environments imaginable. Thomas embodied this ethos of collaboration. Fluent in multiple languages, including Russian, English, Spanish, and his native French, he operated as a bridge between cultures. Whether working with NASA, ESA, Roscosmos, or JAXA, he brought calm, professionalism, and humility. In 2021, he returned to space for a second mission, this time aboard SpaceX's Crew Dragon, making him the first French astronaut to fly in a commercial spacecraft. His second mission, known as Alpha, lasted 6 months and included over 200 scientific experiments. And during that time, he was named commander of the ISS, a role reserved for leaders who can coordinate complex operations, manage multinational teams, and maintain composure in extreme conditions. It wasn't just technical success, it was leadership in its purest form, calm under pressure, empathy, clarity, and connection. Since returning to Earth, Thomas Pesquet has become one of Europe's most recognisable voices in advocating for climate action, science education, and international peace. He's spoken at global forums, sat with world leaders, and collaborated with the UN, the ESA, and environmental organisations. His message remains consistent. Science isn't just about discovery, it's about responsibility. He's also become a vocal supporter of making space more inclusive. Thomas has publicly championed ESA's efforts to diversify its astronaut corps, welcoming candidates from all walks of life, including those with physical disabilities, for future missions. And beyond his public advocacy, he continues to inspire the next generation through school visits, STEM programs, and digital engagement. He represents a modern version of the explorer, not one driven by conquest, but by curiosity, collaboration, and care. In a world often divided, Thomas Pesquet reminds us, through science, through shared purpose, and through looking at Earth from above, that we are all astronauts on the same tiny blue ship. Thomas Pesquet isn't just an astronaut. He's a bridge between Earth and space, between science and humanity, between what is and what could be. Through his vision, his leadership, and his heart, he shows us what influence can look like when it's rooted not in ego, but in elevation, not in stardom, but in stars. That's it for today's episode of Icons of Influence. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share the podcast with someone who dreams big. Until next time, keep looking up.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.